Hey,
Hey.
how you doing? Your background, you look like you have water.
I'm floating. I'm literally under the sea right now.
That's okay. This is the ransom room.
Right. I think that's a permanent fixture now. The ransom room it is.
It's like people are like, oh, this is where you go to like be zen and have solace. I'm like, this is
It's your
called I have no
meditation.
fucking light coming.
It's your meditation in the closet. Love it.
Well, we gotta start this proper. So welcome to Make Your Own Fun. I'm here with our new co-host, Erin Katz.
Hi.
She's
Thank you.
awesome. I'll just say a quick little thing that I think I've known you for 11 years.
It's been that long.
I think 2011.
That's crazy.
I can't believe it. It's time flies, man. We're and you've like moved to
11.
the coast and you moved back and I've moved
I've
up.
literally had like I think two lives in between, right?
That's so crazy.
Crazy.
So we don't really have a sponsor so far as of yet, but I am not above a little product placement. So if Burger King would like to sue me, that's great. I'm not really above product
Come and get those.
placement, maybe just a little.
I'm pretty thirsty myself.
She's got it. She's got it.
Just
So,
saying.
so we
Come get us, people.
so we talked about a few things earlier, about some funny stories we could tell, and one of the things I thought of is Tales from
Oh
Retail
my
Hell.
God.
Now, this is how shitty of an artist I am. This is supposed to be Hellfire. It looks like I just had, like I was just
I thought an earthquake happened.
like both of our kids are going to be like, "Did you try?"
Right, right. My 4-year-old's crafting an entire volcano right now, I'm sure.
They're so far ahead of us. They're programming their electronics.
Right?
So
I've
this
changed my phone password 5 times in the past month. So
is like,
yes.
oh really? Like not even looking at you.
Yep, totally.
So the first story I have, and this is a true story, years ago I worked at a grocery store back when I was in college, and this drunk guy came in and they were having this promotion, which to me, you don't have to have an analytical brain to figure this out. So I can't even remember the name of the beer, but it was a 24 pack cans, 24 cans for this price. And of course, it was like selling out like crazy because it was just a great deal. College town, lots of people coming in. So this drunk asshole comes in, total like redneck with the fucking like sleeves ripped off, John Deere hat,
Mhm.
whatever, camouflage. And then he comes up to me, and I happen to be like the guy, the jackass that happens to be there stocking things on the end cap. And he's like, "Hey man, I went over there and I don't see any more 24 packs. Let's just say Pabst Blue Ribbon. Are you sure? Well, I can check for you. Yeah, man, you do that. That's what they pay you for." I'm like, okay. So I look over, and he's right. I don't see any in the cooler, nothing on the shelf. And I walk, I'm like, okay, sir, let me go check in the back. And I go and check in the back, and they just gotten a delivery of like pallets of stuff. Nothing. And I came out and I was like, and then I call over my coworker. I'm like, hey, like this guy wants the deal. Like, can I just give him two 12 packs? He's like, well, that's still 24 cans. So yeah, I'm like, all right. So it's like, hey, I can give you these two 12 packs for the same price as the 24 pack. And the guy's like, man, that is not a 24 pack. And I
Oh,
was like,
God bless
wait,
him.
wait, it's still 24 cans. Like they're still cold. Like I've got them right here. Like you can take them right to the register. I'll even carry them up to the register. And he is like, man, I came in here for a 24 pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon, and I am not fucking leaving without it. And I was like,
You could have just tied that shit together.
right.
And like, there you go.
Redneck 24 pack. So anyway, I'm like, fuck. So I go up to the manager who was still there. It was like 9 o'clock at night, and I was like, hey, this guy's gonna be in dick, and I don't think he's gonna leave, and he wants a 24 pack. And he goes, I was afraid this was gonna happen. And I was like, what? He's like, come into my office, and I was like, what is happening? Is this like an Austin Powers thing? He opens the door, and I walk in, and I walk around the corner, and there's like a little cooler, and inside his cooler, he's got 24 packs in the
No.
cooler. Like he had set them aside for himself. And I was like,
Oh my God.
so I walk off, and then the manager's like, I'll come with you. You know, maybe he's going to get unruly or whatever. And so I come over and I gave it to him. I was like, hey, it turns out we had another one. He goes, man, where'd you go? $10 I've been waiting forever. And he's like, I'm going to pay for it. I'm good. And he opens his like wallet, and he has like all these like crumpled up ones, and he like holds them up like this. I'm good for it. And then he's like, yeah, man. And as he's like, takes it from me, he like rips part of the cardboard and starts drinking one. The manager's like,
Oh my God.
up. And so the dude was already like wobbling, gets up there, throws the money down on the register like we don't even know how much is there. And he was like, y'all can keep the change. Woo! And then he
It could have been $5.
right? And then he like drops it in a cart and like hobbles out into the night, and it's like snowing, right? It's really cold. And then we watch, and then manager's like, Eric. And I'm like, what? He's like, you're gonna want to watch this. I'm like, what? He points out the door, and just as like another customer came and the double doors open, we looked out in the parking lot. Dude fucking just eats it. Just and then he's just laying there. And I'm like, what do we do? And he's like, go get whatever your coworker and go grab him, put him in the cart, bring the cart back in. He doesn't freeze, and we'll call him a cab. We lifted him up, we put him in a cart, we brought him to the store, and he was like starting to wake up, and he just took another fucking can, and he was just like couldn't get it in his mouth, and it was like coming down, and he was just like, Pabst Blue Ribbon, my favorite. I'm the king of the universe, bitches. And we were just like, this is before, cameras, phones, but I was like, that happened. We put him in the cab, and the cab was like,
my 20s.
Right? And the fucking cab driver
literally
was like, literally to my manager, he's like, not again. And then
that guy's a frequent flyer. That's amazing. Doesn't that make it so rewarding working in retail for moments like that?
I mean, that's what you remember. You don't remember like how well you remember now, how awful you got paid and how horrible the job was. But stuff like that is just like ingrained. Like I'm never gonna see that in an office. At least, God, I hope not. If I see that happen in an office, like
I've seen some things in an office.
All right, so tell me one
I've seen some crazy things. What?
So tell me, you've got to have one. Let me hear one you've got.
Oh my God, I have so many. I think my most interesting one was working for a very large charity organization in the clothing donation industry. I'll just put it at that. I'm sure you could use your imagination to what place that was. Taking in random donations of clothes, never knowing what you're going to find, and then having very select few people that would come just for the underwear and buy used underwear and want to try them on, and having to have that awkward conversation with the 60-year-old lady who strolls on in with the really bad makeup, looking like a clown, it's kind of hung over, just crawled out of a bush, messy hair, and trying to try on some, lacy old thongs, and having to say, honey, we don't really allow the try-ons here, and one lady was just so disgruntled. She came back, she came in that store, and she pooped on the floor. Took a hot shit right in the middle of the floor.
She's like, this is what your opinion means. Just
took that underwear, left with the underwear. And I'm like, yep, that's not, I quit. That's it. I draw the line in a pile of shit. We're done.
You're like,
that's it.
Steaming pile of crap emojis, okay?
Yeah.
But real life.
It also made me realize, like, what point is my life at right now?
You're
this
like,
might be
is
the
this
bug.
what it's come to, where I'm with people that just have like no discretion, that are just like, lady, I am taking a shit.
Right. And then the next year I met you working at our job.
Oh, so
It was
definitely
a
a
step
step
up,
up.
right?
All
I
right.
went from working with people shitting to working with the dead. So,
All right. Well, I've
right.
got one more, and this is another one of those things where it's like, in the worst way possible, you used to hear those things like, "Dear Penthouse, I thought this would never happen to me." So,
Yes.
so years ago, before you and I met, I was, let's just say, I worked in Santa Monica as a audio video installer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, God, I don't know where we were, maybe like Ojai, like way the F north, fucking far. And we had like all this stuff, all this equipment we had to bring and install. And we didn't get there until like early afternoon. It's a pretty like what, like a 2-3 hour drive to Ojai in LA
Mm-hmm.
traffic. So
Ugh.
we got up there, and of course the person lives on like fucking like Wayne Manor, like way up on top of a ravine with fucking trees from the Mesozoic era. Like the
You
signs
might
are
not
just
make it out
whatever
alive.
you want them to be. So we pull in the driveway, which is a fucking 45-degree angle death park, which I'm like, get on the emergency brake. So we go up there, and then we're like, okay, we'll take the TV first. It's like the heaviest thing. And back in the day, like even like a 42-inch TV, which was like metal, like even the thin ones were like crazy.
Oh, yes.
So we're taking it, we take it out of the truck, we're really careful around the walkway, up the steps, onto the porch, set the porch down. And my coworker was facing me, but like closer to the door. I was like, go ahead, man. And I just, he literally, swear to God, this is what happened, because we tell this story every once in a while. He literally did the thing where he turns around and he's just about to put the knuckles on the door when out of nowhere, and this is, I only heard it because after I realized later, okay, the windows are open, is I heard like, come inside me.
What?
And
No.
and he was like this, and I grabbed his wrist, and I was like,
No.
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 And he's like, what? I'm like, we go back to the truck. We open the back. We sit inside. We can have a drink. We wait. He's like, well, what? I'm like, no, we do not. No. Like,
No.
like 20 minutes later, dude comes out. Like, it looks like fucking George from Seinfeld, bald, glasses,
Oh, God.
hairy chest. He's got the robe and nothing else on. He comes out, he goes,
Oh,
oh, is this my TV? Oh, hey, you fellas, how's it going? And I'm like, going pretty good. And then we put the stuff in, and he's like, sorry, the wife can't come out to meet you. She's a little indisposed. And I'm like,
I bet she
okay.
is.
It's like you have to act oblivious. You have to act like
Yeah.
nothing happened, and you're just like, not, you want to be like, put some pants on, you freak, but you're like, yes, sir. Oh, that's
Right. It's not like, so
wonderful.
how was the sex? Sex was
Right?
good? Yeah, cool.
Oh God. And then later, after we installed everything, he goes into the bedroom, door slams. I heard like from behind the door, I heard, like he was just ripping him a new one, like why are there people here or whatever.
Right.
And then out of clear as day, he's like, reach under there and give me some money. So we were
No.
like, what is happening? And then he comes out, and I'm like, man, let's just get our tools and go back. And we're walking. He's like, fellas, you can't leave without your tip. I'm like, oh, okay. And he comes up to us, and we're both like slowly putting our hands out like it's a fucking horror movie like this. And all of a sudden he reaches out, and he, out of his fucking disgusting leopard print robe, pulls out 220s, puts them in her hands, and he goes,
That's gross.
catch you on the flip side. He runs back in the house. The $20 bills were wet.
That's horrifying.
We were like, I'm like, man, just put him in the bag. Put him in the bag. They'll dry out later. But that was just one of those things where I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I don't know if you don't have to top that, but if you have another weird
those
one.
bills. No, I can't top that. And
Okay.
no, that is horrifying. I don't think I can unhear that.
I mean, literally, it was like a horror movie. He was like reaching up to knock, and then he just hear like, come inside me. And I was like pulling his hand away. I'm like, no,
Don't go.
no, like
No.
we away from here. All right,
I
so
would have driven away. I give you props for fighting it
I
out.
know. Oh, but trust me, with like the thousands of dollars of stuff that guy ordered, yeah, he would have been all right
Right?
about that. And our manager at the time would have been like,
Oh my
fucking go back
God.
there. I don't care if they're fucking each other on the fucking DVD box.
Right?
Get in there. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Right. Work around it.
Haven't you ever heard of a workaround, kid?
Right? Exactly.
All
That's
right.
good.
So the other one that we talked about bringing up, which I thought was kind of funny, is sneaky telemarketers. And I know you probably get those robocalls and shit. Right?
God.
You want to start this one? You want to?
Yeah.
You want to start this one?
Oh my goodness.
Or if you want, but
You go for it.
okay.
You can go for it.
So
Yeah,
as you know,
I've got so many to choose from.
back in the day, as you know, I used to live in Inglewood, which was like I've seen shoeboxes bigger than that apartment. It was so freaking tiny. I don't know how I got like a fucking Jenga stuff in there, like on the ceiling. I don't know how, but like
Yeah.
there was like one summer for like a month. I think it was when I was like in the hospital or something, and I was kind of like stuck at home for like a month or whatever, 2 or whatever it was, and I kept getting the calls, and it was this guy like, I don't know if I can do the voice, but he was like, hey, this is Peter calling you from Branson Siding. Just want you to know we got an exciting deal going on in your neighborhood right now for aluminum siding for like $99 a square yard. And I would always be like, hey, Peter, yeah, this is Eric. You just called me yesterday. I'm still living in the same tiny apartment in Inglewood, man, 1 bedroom. There was nowhere to illume an 8 with fucking wrap around. Like maybe you could put aluminum siding on my car,
right?
but not on my apartment. Like I don't own the building. And he's just like, so I hear you got questions, friend. What I'm hearing is there's some indecision. And I'm like, could you, I asked you yesterday, could you please remove me from your calling list? You're a nice guy. You're a go-getter. I can tell you're reading from a script, but I'm not on the script. I'm off script. I'm telling you, man, please don't call me back. The next day he calls, it'd be like 8 in the morning. Like it clicks over from 7:59 to 8, and I have my phone right by my bed, and it's like, ah! And I'm picking up, I'm like, oh, I think it's like an emergency. Like, hello, and it's like, hey, buddy, it's Peter again. Just wanted to follow up, and yeah, so we were talking yesterday, and you were saying that maybe you were gonna do like an extension onto your dwelling and put like a garage. Like dwelling, it's not a fucking igloo. It's an apartment. Like
it's not my Adobe villa.
Whatever deal you're gonna give me would probably completely navigate whatever I'm living in. He's like, okay, buddy. Well, we'll try a better time for you tomorrow. And then finally, when I was well enough, I actually found the place, and I went down there, and I was like, I'm looking for a buddy of mine. His name's Peter.
Did you meet
him?
No,
it's his buddy Eric. And then they were like, oh yeah. And it was like funny. Like I just picked up lunch for myself, and I was like, tell him I brought Chipotle.
Oh my God.
And that's how I got in, because I showed up like right at like 12:30. And I went around the corner. I'm like, Peter, buddy, it's Eric. I brought Chipotle, man. Tell me all about that aluminum siding, man. Let's go.
God.
Yeah. And he was literally like this. Like I just saw a head poke up from over a cubicle, and I saw these gopher eyes, and he was like, boom. And he literally got up and fucking ran out the back door.
That's amazing.
Never saw him again. Never got the call. And I was like, oh, he does this all the time. You know that movie like Tag? That's us. All right, Peter, I'll see you around back, man. I just got
That's amazing. Oh my God, I would have showed up every day. I would have been like, you called me how many times? I'll be there every day. Hey, buddy.
Hey, man, I got Chipotle.
Your favorite burrito.
He was just like, whoa!
He's like, I quit. I'm gone. Never showed up again.
Just out the fucking back door.
Oh my God.
Do you have
that is amazing.
Is anybody called you like repeatedly like that?
I got a call this morning that said Africa called. So that was pretty cool, because I was like,
awesome.
wow,
like a continent so important.
literally Africa. I was like, should I answer this? Because I feel so important. It kind of inflated my ego for the day. But I love to play the repeater with them. It's become like a
Oh
new
yeah, yeah, yeah,
sport
yeah.
where because I get a lot of like, your car warranty. I'm like, I haven't had that car in 25 years, but that's cool. So it
You're
still
like,
has
it's
a
still
warranty.
valid.
Shut up. Oh my God, that's amazing. So I just repeat what they say. So it's like, hey, miss, your 2002 Jeep Grand Cherokee has an extended warranty available. I'm like, my 2002 Jeep Grand Cherokee has an extended warranty available. And they're like, yes, we can offer you these terms. Yes, you can offer me these terms. And
Tell
this
me
will go on.
more.
I will go on for 30 minutes if I can. It's like now become a sport. How long can you keep them on the phone? Fuck my job. Forget a therapy session. You guys have to wait with your problems because I'm not going to quit. I will win.
That is
This is,
awesome.
and it works. It's great.
Oh
I
God,
love
like the worst thing, and maybe you've done this before too, is they get you on the phone and then all of a sudden they're like you realize it's a telemarketer, and then
Mhm.
they're like, "How you doing today?" I'm like, well, Francine, actually, not good. I just got back from the doctor and I was diagnosed with phantom third limb pain. So I have this incurable, insufferable itch between my shoulder blades that will just never go away. And in public, I often fight myself, and it's made me lose out on relationships and friendships and job things. But I hear that there's an opening where I can be a pirate that also sings. And the lady was
And
like,
that's what
she was like, oh my, that is,
I'm sorry.
um, well, then she was trying, I could tell she was trying to think of the most polite thing to say. She was like a
That's
Southern
funny,
belle. She's like, well, okay, well, y'all have a blessed day now. Goodbye. Like,
right? You have a blessed day. I thought that's when you're going to hear the doot, 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 doot. This call has been disconnected. That's so funny. Oh my God. I'm going to try that one. Guaranteed I'll get another spam call tomorrow.
oh yeah, if you do, just totally just try to twist it and just
I
anything
might,
that is uncomfortable, you just like,
right?
girl, I have the most horrendous rectal itch right now.
Right?
And she'd be like,
That's
oh,
amazing.
that's interesting. So yeah, I should probably go now.
Right?
Anything
That's
that's
awesome.
uncomfortable for them, or like, we're all really sad that our puppy was born with 4 eyes, and it's been really hard to explain to our children. One lady, I told that to one lady, and she was like, really?
No, I mean, I get that asshole that's like, send me a picture. I'd love to see it.
I know. That's why you can't use that stuff all the time.
Right?
It's got to be one of
Oh
those
my gosh.
things where you're just fed up and you're like, look, this is happening.
That's amazing.
You
I'm
have
going to
another
start
one,
getting
or
excited for the spam risk notification on my phone.
you're like,
Can't wait. Right? It's on. New games to play.
well, I have another topic here, which I thought was funny, which is so true, not just for us, but everybody else. And like people older than us, we've noticed that we complain. And I have a lot of friends that are into like horror movies and
Mhm.
scary stuff, so they get excited, and I'm excited too. I write horror movies and stuff, but there just has to be something to be said for like consumers and people that go to stores that literally the day after 4th of July, it's officially Halloween.
Oh my God.
Like
That's
you
so
go into the
true.
stores and you're like, weren't there just like fireworks and banners and
Yeah.
American flag print things, and the next thing you know, there's like a pallet of candy. You're
That's so true.
like way to be on the ball, Costco. You know?
Right?
You go in
Right?
there.
It used to be like you had time. You had a little bit of time. And I feel like now it's Christmas next week, right? Is that already happening? I
Oh
gotta go
yeah,
get a tree. It's fine.
and I understand why they're doing this. I was talking to somebody else about this the other day, that they've really just removed Thanksgiving. It's more of just,
Yeah.
they might as well just call it Turkey Day. There's nothing about
Yeah.
pilgrims, nothing about Native Americans anymore. There, because we pretty much learned through selective history, like it did not go down like that.
No, it did not.
New
No,
England did not just, everybody didn't just get together and have like a kegger. That is not what happened.
no. That would have been fascinating, but no, it did not go that way.
Yeah, they're like, oh, welcome. We got a keg. We hope you're thirsty. No. We're
You
gonna
know, that's why
over.
for my people, the Jews, everything's about guilt and pain. We know our suffering. It's depressing. So let's eat and drink and just wallow because it happens.
Oh my
Our
God.
history was
I
tough.
just heard a couple months ago, I heard a Jewish comedian. I think I've heard this joke before too. It was so funny. He's talking about Simi Valley, and he's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
see, what did he say? Like, Simi Valley is the backup plan for Israel in case it didn't work out.
that's legit. That is true.
And
That's
I
so
think I've heard it
funny.
before, but I hadn't heard it for years. I'm like,
That's so funny.
okay, all right, you went there,
I
all
love it.
right, all right. To
I
me,
think I'm one of 5 Jews who see me now. I
one
think
of
maybe
five.
I feel that demographic. Yeah. My daughter is starting elementary school in 2 weeks. She's starting like the TK program. And I was looking at the names of all the families that like I've networked with. Only Jew here. Yep. I'm that
You're like,
token.
there's 7 O'Malley's, but only one
Right.
Katz.
Right. I'll represent, it's all good. I'm going to have her wear a fucking menorah shirt every day. She'll be
You're
singing
just gonna
Jewish
walk around and
songs.
you're like, what am I the only? Am I the only one walking into PTA meetings wearing a Chaim band shirt?
Right.
And
Right.
I had to say it like that because like I've seen them go on talk shows and like, we love your band, Haim.
Right. I love
They're
it.
the best.
Right.
Especially after she was in that movie, like people are like, oh, you pronounce it like this, and she's like, we've been a band for like 15 years, but now that I'm in a movie,
Yeah.
people pronounce my name right.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Jew struggles.
Oh my God. So yeah, so in the store I saw stuff like Halloween, and it used to be when we were younger, you could get into like September before the Halloween stuff.
Mhm.
Because after a while, you're like, as a parent, you're like, how long has that pallet of treats been sitting in the middle of
Oh,
the store? Like
yeah,
July? I don't
yeah,
think people are taking candy from the bottom, so at some point it's probably just all melted into one giant
that's so
fucking candy
gross.
corn of yuck.
Right, right. Your
Oh,
$15 bag of candy corn, that's one big candy corn now.
and it's probably some poor bastard's job, like November 1st. They're like, okay, Ralph, you got to take the pallets of candy to the back and like sift through them and feel the bags and see which
Right?
ones aren't like siphoned together. I'm like, okay.
Right. That might be worse than my working with the
guys.
lady who pooped on the floor. That's terrible. That's like, guess how many beans are in the jar? Let's play that game with the candy corn. Oh my
And I was
God.
never close. Anywhere I've ever worked that they've, guess how many pieces of like Skittles are in the jar or whatever. Never
Right?
close. There's
No.
always like one person that gets like their glasses on and they get like a pen and they're like, and they get
Yeah.
like 6 rows and they're like, fuck.
Right, right.
They're
They're like, let
doing
me
it again.
calculate the circumference. And then, okay, if I
The
do this
depth of the
mathematical
jar.
equation, right?
And then the
Okay, what
person's like,
candy is this?
I worked with a woman a couple of years ago. She literally was off by 3. And it was this
How
giant
is that
freaking,
possible?
I'm like,
It's rigged,
I mean, are you putting a finger on the side of the jar and being like, okay, one, and going all the way
right?
around
No,
and
you know
going
what
like,
it is? She knows where they went to buy the candy and saw how many come in a bag and then figured how many bags does it take to fill up that damn jar.
and she's like,
All just to win that jar full of candy.
and the X factor is how many has upper management or HR stolen from the jar each day before the office opens?
Right? So true. That's so funny. I love it.
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Whew.
Remember we used
So,
to have all of those silly things at our job, like the contest of the
they
let's
were
deck
so fun though.
in. It was so fun.
The dress up stuff, like the Halloween costumes,
Yeah.
were like the best.
11 years. Oh my God.
I know. Time flies, man. Time flies.
That's a
Although
trip.
I am so grateful that I no longer live in that tiny shoebox apartment. It was,
The
I remember
stories
telling
of
you stories.
your neighbor, and the things you overheard were like the stories that got me through the dark times. It was
Oh, I
so
was going to tell you
entertaining.
this. So I've got a book of short stories that are going to come out probably later this year, early next year. one of the Inglewood stories I kind of repurposed that I'm going to put in there. And I
Oh,
think it was the one you liked too, about the guy that came to install the cable and he had like the greasy hair.
yes.
And he was into like White Snake and was going through
Yes.
my fridge and like took like a 15-minute dump in my bathroom.
I'm like, how do you have all these experiences?
You know
It's
what
like,
it is? It's just when these things happen, it's like I'm usually by myself. And I guess I'm just like a really approachable guy. And like to kill time, I'll just walk up and start talking with somebody, and then the person will turn around and they'll be like, oh, that was a bad idea.
that's so
Like,
funny.
like, oh, I didn't see your pig nose and your bug eyes. And
Oh, come on. Your Inglewood stories are just amazing.
but I mean, you've had to been places like gas station, grocery store, where you're walking around and then somebody's on their damn phone and they're talking way too loud and they say something and you're just like, not only are you like into our voice, but like you're psycho.
Yes, many times. I used to live on like right off of Laurel Canyon, right in the hill just before sunset. So I would often walk down the hill to that gas station right there where there was always some kind of grouping of very interesting characters, most of them homeless, drunk, high, you name it. And the things that I overheard, or people that after partying, wandering through the convenience store, it was like the best people watching. I would go there sometimes. That was my Saturday night. Also, I was single, but yes,
But you know
clearly.
what? There's always shit that you overhear that you're just like, and it makes you look at yourself. You're like, do I yell like that? Do I talk
Right?
like that? And
And
like,
I know I'm loud, but sometimes I'm like,
I'm loud, but when
wow.
I'm by myself, I don't think I do. I'm not like picking up the phone and being on the phone and being like, oh yeah, these new yoga pants are the shit, man. The way they just crawl up my ass, that's where there's a black hole in there.
Right?
Like who fucking
Right?
walks
I
around
don't
and
know
just
how
talks
she
like
got
that?
herpes. It was just that one night. We really didn't do anything. I thought it
Oh
was,
Jesus!
you know,
Yeah,
it
I
was
heard a
just a
guy like
blowjob.
literally the other day. Where was I? I don't know. I was picking up food somewhere, and I heard a guy walk out of the restaurant on his phone, swinging the door open as I'm walking up the sidewalk to the door, and I hear like,
God.
I usually use protection, but I figure when am I going to make it back to Haiti? And I was like,
How do you put that together? Right?
I have no.
Because I want to know the rest
All
of
I did
that
was just
story.
like, don't look him in the eye, and I just walked in.
Oh no, I would go ask him, what's that story about? Tell me. You can't leave me with that cliffhanger. Come on.
You're like, were you there helping refugees? Something
Right.
tells me you weren't.
Right. What kind of
Oh,
help
were
were
you
giving?
helping refugees?
Exactly, right? Helping.
He does a lot of work with single mothers.
Right. Or Haiti is the club he went to.
Oh God.
Yep. It's like the dungeon.
Meanwhile, at Club Glory Hole.
Right?
Oh,
That's
oh
amazing.
my God. So yeah, and then sometimes I just hear people talking about stuff, and I don't know. Sometimes I'm just under a rock, and I don't hear a lot about what's going on in the news. But the first time I ever heard, and this is horrible, I know, but the first time someone said the phrase, and I was at a store somewhere, and I overheard them like, yeah, monkeypox, they're everywhere. Like, yeah, it's going everywhere. Like, oh, did you hear about monkeypox? And I fucked like an idiot that I am. I poked my head around the corner and I was like, oh, is that like a new band? Were they on SNL or something? And they were like, no, it's a deadly virus. And I was like, I was about ready to say, like, is that the name of the album? Don't look stupid, Eric. So it's like, okay, all right, thanks. I walked around the corner. I'm like,
That's hilarious.
fuck, it sounds
Right?
like a band from the 90s. Like,
It should be.
Monkeypox opening for Matchbox 20.
Right? Monkeybox playing night number 2 at Acoustic Christmas.
Oh
Right?
God. Has that ever happened to
That's
you where somebody's
amazing.
brought up a band name or something that sounds like a band name and you thought it was and then the person's like, no. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, or I've really wished it was.
Oh.
And so sometimes I hear a really good band name and I'm like, yes, I'm going to start a band. I'm going to have to learn an instrument, get over stage fright, learn how to sing that doesn't sound like a chicken dying, and that just for this one band name.
Oh, come on. Like, like there's people that have professional recording deals where you're like, how did
Right?
we pick this
True.
person? Like,
That's like every music, every band that your child probably listens to.
Oh God. Or it's like even stuff that we listened to growing up when it's like you hear about them, like the singer when they were younger, that they were like, and he was in the choir and he had a super angelic
Yep.
voice. His name was Bill Bailey. You know him better as Axl Rose. And you're like, what?
Right?
That guy
Can't
was an
imagine.
altar boy? No.
Those are my favorite things. But that's how I knew I got old, when I started liking the biography channel and watching all this shit about all these like musicians who I used to idolize who are now like 80.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, like
Nirvana's classic rock.
everything like 25 years or,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
All,
Fucking
bands that
old.
we grew up listening to are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We are old, but
Right. Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
I'm
That's my
gonna be-
next.
Go ahead.
Go on.
I was
No, go
gonna
on.
say, like, I know I'm gonna be one of those old guys, like probably in 5 years, that's sitting there in my cardigan drinking my mixed drink, like yelling at the TV about some historical documentary. I love those
That's
like
me
history
now.
ones where the guys have like the crazy Coke bottle
Uh-huh.
glasses, and they're so interested, and then they all have the patches on their corduroy suits, and they're always like,
Yep.
only one man would have dared to cross the Rubicon, and his name was Gaius Julius Caesar. And and they get so excited and they have to stop, and the cadence is like this, and you're like, even the women are just like, and that's how we knew that we were not to mess with Napoleon Bonaparte. Like, what?
You literally just described me and what I watch every
I
single.
watch that shit too. I
weekend.
watch like all the history stuff. I'm afraid to watch A&E because it's just the World War II channel.
Right. That's depressing. It's like you
You're
really
like,
want to feel bad about
one must
everything.
wonder if someone would have told Hitler he was a good artist, but then again, he was so terrible.
Right? That's so good. Oh my
Oh
God.
my
I do watch plenty of
God.
trash TV though. I will say I've got to have my trash TV.
Yeah,
It's a
there's some
guilty
stuff that
pleasure.
you're like, someone said yes to this. Somebody was like, take some money, put your freakish children on camera.
Yes.
We make
All
it so
22
cool.
of them. Yep.
But you're
All
just like watching
22
like that, like
or
Honey Boo Boo stuff where you're just like,
love it.
that person
Because it's
cannot be
so
having a
bad.
normal life now. No way.
No, I watch it for the train wreck. I gotta admit, it's
Like
just
the mom and everything. You're just like, I'm on
I just
television, so listen to what I say.
I just say these people are real.
I
And they're
know, and they're not
probably
fake.
shopping
Like,
at the store you used to work at, trying to get their 24 pack of booze. That was
not
your
your 12
demographic.
packs, man. I want the 24 pack. You hear me? I know the
Let's
math.
talk about math.
Right? Oh my gosh, you're
God.
not gonna believe it, but yeah, time is almost up. We've been
No way.
yeah.
Wow.
But I wanted to give you a few minutes. I know people are just kind of learning about you for the first time. So
Mhm.
if you have like your own website you want people to check out, or
I'm
anything like
actually
graphic
working on it
design you
now.
might do.
I am working on it now. You find me funny, and so here I am, and living the dream. But I am putting together my own Instagram and website, which will be coming soon. So next time we do this, I'll let you know the details. But a lot of mental health and sarcastic therapy humor. Realistically, the my ramblings of the everyday shenanigans working in a psych ward. Um, ways to better ourselves and have a little levity about the bullshit and the stupidity that we go through or put ourselves through, because
Right.
we can all be idiots sometimes. And sometimes we also need to think about our mental health and the choices we make. So stay tuned for
Exactly.
that good stuff.
Yeah, and that's what this show is all about. It's a safe space, free speech and everything, but
Yeah.
really encourage people to be silly, have fun, toss back a Coca-Cola from time to time if you want, maybe things in a thermos that are not Coca-Cola.
I got this too. Oh, green bottle.
What?
Mine's
Didn't
water.
plan that.
Right.
All right. Well, we'll wrap
We're
it up
gonna have to
here.
decorate your dungeon, by the way, your little room
Oh, the
over
ransom
there.
room.
The ransom room. Yeah, we're gonna get
I have been treated very kindly.
one light over your head. That's it.
They tell us we'll
That's
be able
it.
to go out into the yard very soon for exercise.
Eric's not allowed to leave ever. Thank you so
right,
much for
well,
having me on this.
no problem. I'm looking forward to the next one, and you
Me
rocked
too.
it as I knew you would. You are
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
And man, just everybody watching, give Erin all the love. She totally rocked it. She hit a home run.
Thanks,
And
guys.
this is going to be awesome. All right. Well, until
Yeah.
next time, bye, everybody.
Bye.